Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're gonna talk about injuries. So in parkour and freerunning, a lot of people think that it's a dangerous sport and that injuries are to be had all the time, but it's not necessarily true. However, sometimes it's somewhat inevitable, but I think there's a lot of ways to prevent it if you train safely. I just want to go over all of the major injuries that I've had in my life and how I learned from them. Because I think that's the most important part, is that when you get injured, if you can learn from your injury and work past it, it makes you even stronger. So let's start off with age 14. No, I was 12. I was 12 years old, and this was when I was in gymnastics. I only got one major injury from gymnastics, which is super surprising to me. I actually broke my foot. It was the growth plate in my left foot, and this was when I was trying to learn how to do a Yurchenko on the vault table. We would have these summer sessions where we got to learn a whole bunch of new high-level stuff that was like way above our current level, and we'd have a lot of fun doing it. But I think I was going for Yurchenko, which is a round off onto a springboard, back handspring on a vault table, and flip after that. But I was just going to do the round off onto the springboard, back handspring onto the vault table. And this is where I learned that you should always commit, because I didn't commit to it and then somehow came back down and smacked the crap out of my foot on a metal thing. I don't even know what it was, but that's how I broke that foot. Always commit to your moves. When I first started parkour and freerunning, I was super weak, and so my ankles would always get injured. But over that time, I learned how to strengthen them, and then I didn't really run into those injuries too much more. I would say my next major injury happened about 4 years ago. I had just moved to LA, and I was trying to do a round-off double backflip on the floor. This is not something that was new to me. I had done it many times in my life. I was just really, really tired and didn't know, so I was pushing myself when I shouldn't have been. Anyway, here's the video clip. So as you can see, something just went horribly wrong. I think that when I did it, I remember I didn't quite get my feet behind me on the round off like you're supposed to, and as I was flipping, I just was totally lost in the air, so I tried to put my hand down to save me, and it didn't work out. That was probably one of the worst injuries I've ever had, because I broke every single finger in my right hand, along with this bone in like 4 different places, and had to get a metal plate and screws put in. So that left me out of the sport for like 3 months because I had to recover from surgery. But also, to be fair, with my hands, it's hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, it's actually kind of sad. I have arthritis already at the early age of 25, and the reason being is because I have broken every single finger in my hands. I also had to get surgery on this wrist when I was 18, and that was just a ganglion cyst. It wasn't anything that I did to it, but yeah, my hands are just kind of fragile. Here's another injury that wasn't parkour related. When I was 14 years old, I was carving a pumpkin with a steak knife. Great idea already, right? Well, I get the knife into the pumpkin, but it wouldn't go in all the way. So I push it really hard and my fingers slid across the blade. So I have 2 scars right here. I'm not sure if you can see them, but I have nerve damage in these 2 fingers as well. A lot of times, bars is a really hard thing for me to train because it is actually painful after a while. So another major injury that I had was I broke my ankle and dislocated it, and it was a really bad sprain. Here's the clip for that. I was doing a running gainer very early in the morning. It was actually one of the first moves that I did of the day. I can admit now that it was stupid. Sent it way too hard and over-rotated, landed on my heels, and just, I remember like the way it landed, as you can see, it's pretty intense, but I was in so much pain everywhere, all over my body, that I had no idea that I had actually injured myself. I got up immediately and started walking around and didn't notice anything except that my ankle felt a little weird. Throughout the day I just kind of sat down and iced it, and then it got worse and worse, and then the next day we went and we found out that it was just a little bit broken. It wasn't like I didn't have to get a cast or anything because of, I think it was just a hairline fracture, but both heels had little hairline fractures in them, and then the ankle had a little hairline fracture, and yeah, but it's taken me about 3 months to heal from, and I was able to start training again about a month and a half through that, so it really wasn't that bad compared to what a lot of people have to go through with broken ankles. I would say the last major injury that I had, knock on wood, that I won't get one for a while. Anyway, the last major injury that I had was at Woodward Tahoe. I was doing double corks outside, which is funny to me because I had done several double corks outside on concrete where I had bailed it and it was fine. And I totally know how to fall most of the time, but this one in particular I sort of landed, but it was just a little bit where I was still twisting as I landed.
That was really good.
That one hurt a lot. You know how in parkour and freerunning we so often land and something hurts a little bit, we're like ow, and we walk it off and it's usually fine in a couple minutes. That's what it felt like it was gonna be, but as I laid there I tried to get up and I couldn't do it very well. It just hurt so bad. I noticed that my leg had swollen up a little bit, and the next day I had to go to the hospital, and the doctor immediately tells me, "You tore your ACL." I was freaking out. I just thought, oh my gosh, my career is over, or I'm gonna be out of the sport for over a year. But then I saw my physio the next day and we found out it was only a partial tear. So I was able to recover from that pretty quickly. With a partial tear, you have to be really careful, because if you do anything wrong and you tear it more, then you're out of the sport for a long time. So I had to be super good about not training. I'm not going to go into the concussion because I already have a vlog about it, so you guys can watch that one. The link will be down in the description and at the end of this video. Here are some honorable mention bails that actually hurt, but they didn't injure me.
Yes. Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Shit.
What do you just have? That's a nice one. Oh, what? Ah.
You alright?
Yeah, my foot got on the edge of this. I was like, oh, I should have gone, but it's okay.
Go. Keep going. Go. Get it.
Oh.
You alright?
Yeah. Oh, did I almost die or what? Is it fine?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day...
important to obviously prevent injuries from happening. So the best ways that I try to do this is obviously I condition the crap out of my body for this. I condition my landings, my jumping, I do weightlifting, I do yoga, I even do boxing. It's like cross-training kind of helps with all of that, I think, just keeping your body very strong. Yeah, so that's basically all of the injuries that I've had that were worth mentioning. There was a lot of other really small ones like patella tendonitis and stuff that I've dealt with, shoulder injuries, you know, stuff like that. But I would love if you guys told me in the comments below what your major injuries were and how you were able to learn from them. Oh my gosh, is that an airplane flying over my head right now? Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.